Good evening. I'm Serena Henderson, and this is my husband, Jody Henderson. Together, as co-advisors, it is our privilege tonight to be able to introduce the Woodstock Union High School class of 2021. On behalf of the class, we want to welcome their family and friends, our superintendent and school board members, and the administrators, faculty, and staff at our Windsor Central Schools.
The Woodstock class of 2021 is recognized as a group of students with an immensity of ideas who most definitely have advocated for those ideas. They have been a class which has grown through the inquiry of what if. What if we try something new? What if we look at a situation differently? What if the challenges become manageable? What if our actions change circumstances?
We all have enjoyed evidence of these class character strengths, shown through the academic goals they've accomplished, artwork and performances they have shared, events they've planned and hosted, competitions they have won and lost, support they've given one another, and the service they have been eager to provide in their school and community.
From a winter coat drive, which members of the class led as freshmen, to a first ever school health screening they offered a small community in Panama, the class of 2021 has continually sought opportunities to become part of a greater good. A survey of personal goals held by members of the Woodstock class of 2021 reveals not only a wealth of insight, but plans to actively engage as global citizens in issues of sustainability and equity.
We are proud to be able to announce tonight that their gift to the school is the establishment of a class legacy fund. Started with their donation of over $2,000, set up to support future students in financial need to facilitate access to academic and co-curricular opportunities which so many of these 2021 graduates have enjoyed. It has been a joy to be alongside this class for the past 4 years. And it is our honor to introduce them on the evening of their graduation.
Distinguished guests, thank all of you for your support of the Woodstock Union High School class of 2021. Please welcome our principal, Garen Smale, to the podium.
Well, typically it would be me up next, but this year it isn't. As you see in the programs, I want to introduce Wilbur Abrams to come to the podium for our alma mater. So Wilbur Abrams, please.
There we go. Oh, you can hear it from this far away. Great. It's short, so you won't be, subjected to too much of this, but, yeah. Our strong bond can ne'er be broken, far surpassing wealth unspoken, sealed by friendship's tie. Alma mater, deep graven on each heart, shall be found unwavering true, till we from life shall part. That was fun.
At this time, Please welcome. It's funny, we take 1 year off of graduation and we just get kind of rusty at things. Please welcome our first salutatory address, Leah Sperber.
Hi. Hi, Mom. When I was in kindergarten, my teacher taught us about outer space for the first time. We learned about the sun and the stars and all the work that humans were doing to reach those celestial bodies. I loved learning about spaceships and rovers, and somehow I began to assume that I would graduate high school on the surface of Mars. I didn't really want to be an astronaut. My dream job at the time was, in fact, to be a garbage man. But it just made sense to me. In the future, we would be on Mars, and my future would start the day I graduated high school. But somehow, on the path from elementary school to writing this speech, I lost track of that particular dream. And then I did what I think a lot of my classmates have, and I lost that deeper notion behind my dreams of Mars. I lost that sense that I am guaranteed a future, or a plan, or a clear path forward. See, as a kid, it was so easy to believe that the world around me was perfect. And with absolute faith in our progress, I had nowhere to look but up. Yet, here at Woodstock Union High School, between my dedicated, caring teachers and my smart, warm-hearted classmates, and the utterly bizarre circumstances under which we went to high school, I was forced to confront some of the ways in which our society and our community has failed. Once a month for the past 6 years, we've hidden under desks and in the corners of classrooms as teachers lock the doors, just in case a madman with a gun decides that this is the place to take out his rage. Members of this class have had to walk out of this school to fight for women's rights and to march for Black lives. We were taught about environmental destruction as part of our history and our science curriculum, and then walked out of those very classes to protest the inaction of our leaders against climate change. We are the second class here to graduate through a pandemic. And I had to start to wonder, is this the future? Because I thought we were going to Mars. But as I began to grow up and to truly engage with life on Earth, Mars just felt further and further away. I know that a graduation speech isn't the time to address society's failings or to announce that I have no faith in my future. We're graduating today. We become adults tomorrow, and as such, we become responsible, not only for our own failings, faiths, and futures, but also for the actions and the prospects of our community. We become adults tomorrow, and I am not sure how to take my first steps into this world on such shaky ground. However, I realize now that this ground has been shaky for a long time, that failures can both arise within a community and be resolved within that community, and that Mars has always been 215 million miles away. If there's one thing I learned during the chaos of my last 3 semesters at Woodstock, it's that you don't need an impeccable past, or faith in the future, or even a plan for today, if you can trust in the present moment and have faith in the people around you. So thank you to my classmates, our families, teachers and staff, and the greater community for giving us a moment to believe in. Thank you, Woodstock, for giving me these people, the ones that I can trust on the dark nights when it seems that Mars has vanished from the sky. Thank you for cultivating the faith that despite our own failures and the capricious future, all will be okay. I hope that each of the graduates can take that faith with them or find it again wherever they go. And I hope, genuinely, to one day make it to Mars. And I hope to see each of you there. Thank you.
Please welcome to the stage, to get set for a wonderful speak chorus, members of the Yo Theater, the senior members of the Yo Theater. Right there.
To the graduating class of 2021,
Woodstock Union High School
Speak chorus
with haiku and writing,
from our own students in senior seminar.
quotes from Kamala Harris, Martin Luther King Jr.,
Melinda Gates
Bashar Shupair,
Ma Muse,
and comments from our faculty, staff,
and students.
the present moment.
There used to be cheers.
Having school shut down all year,
this pandemic has magnified
every existing inequality in our society.
Soon things got weird.
Streets empty all day, all night.
Like systemic racism, gender inequality, and poverty.
It was a strange sight.
We had to fight for life
As COVID set spikes,
every type of inequality
has been exposed
and amplified
during this pandemic.
COVID.
COVID.
School closing. Headed home.
To learn from home,
Zooming 24/7.
people who live in deprived areas
have higher diagnosis rates and death rates
than those living in less deprived areas.
It's proven to not be the flu. Eyes glued to the news.
Death count continues to rise.
Stay at home.
Wearing masks.
In Spain, seroprevalence results show
That women who work as cleaners or carers,
as well as migrants,
were more exposed to the virus
than the general population.
Lockdown.
Time to quarantine.
Death counts continue to rise.
School in person.
No. Remote.
This pandemic reinforces what we already know.
We can't keep people healthy
If they don't have a roof over their head.
and food on the table.
1,
2,
3. Vaccines.
fully vaccinated.
We may be in the same storm,
But we are in different boats.
The
present moment. Musings of our seniors by way of haiku.
I remember when
Nonsense was the only sense.
As apples fell up. Laughing way too hard.
trying our best just to breathe.
At Optic Scumpire.
I remember when
Apple was thrown at the door.
Apple chunks on floor.
at recess we played wall ball, foursquare, and gaga.
Kickball and soccer.
We are a diverse community committed to the discovery of promise
In each of us.
and dedicated to the full development of intellect, curiosity,
Energy and conscience.
We consciously commit ourselves
To encourage fellowship.
leadership
And cooperation.
in the competitive atmosphere of athletics.
Sports pro and champion
Thomas Bazalian is the responsible NHS treasurer.
cares for the grounds at Sharon Elementary School.
And volunteers with students.
Best ice times happen
When he finds scarlet letter quotes.
in his hockey skates. Gavin Huffy,
Curious.
smart
Kind.
and polite.
A hockey aficionado.
Aiden McDermott,
Is a mountain biker.
the go-to mountain bike repairman at Woodstock Sports.
Gracious.
Thoughtful.
Has direction.
Manny Pacheco,
Go-to joke man.
With a never-ending smile.
Will do anything for basketball.
Even an occasional English essay.
Louis Mills, growth, maturity,
Future Woodstock coach.
A literal change the world kid.
Basketball star.
and soccer queen
Savannah Sheehan
is intelligent
Hardworking.
and great at science.
Riley Shepard.
Fast as a bat out of
HE double hockey sticks.
Future NHL player. Wise, giving, and kind to others.
Will tolerate watering by his bros.
As they remind him.
He is all vegetable.
And a really fast one at that.
Skier Amber Wood,
is athletic
and determined to get this year done.
will show up for senior lunch in room 9.
Haley Chase.
A basketball player.
Who's social,
Likes her friends.
Sadie Gravel.
kind, intelligent, curious,
And thoughtful.
famously ever ready for the next workout.
The next game.
Charles Green.
Mr. Woodstock himself.
School spirit king. And caring to his core.
Just don't call him Charlie.
Despite a season-long injury as a junior,
Mason
He
Harkins.
was part of every game and practice in soccer.
A great teammate.
Best smile.
Will be designing amazing cars.
Tyler Bean.
Technical.
Focus.
Baller.
Funny.
The world's largest clay whistle.
Needs to slow down on his mountain bike.
When I was younger,
School was never cool till you.
a high gave me hope.
I remember when
My mother packed my lunches.
Feeling free of care.
when I was little,
3 girls defended me.
That was powerful.
We are a diverse community committed to the discovery of promise,
In each of us.
and dedicated to the full development of intellect.
curiosity.
Energy and conscience.
We consciously commit ourselves
to challenge and expand the limits of thought.
Tolerance.
And performance.
The voice in quiet leadership.
Nova Conway.
Promises to tackle life.
Just like a decathlon.
Springy.
Diligence.
Curious.
Athletic.
Runs like a nimble deer through the woods.
Riley Cross.
Wise.
Giving.
Kind of woman who's going to change the world.
Charlie Hamlin.
Entrepreneur
Started a hat company, Gooba.
and a snowboard empire.
Mannequins in the closet.
Lily Tuckerman.
Most likely to run.
And dramatically.
Positively.
In the
Change
farming world.
FFA president.
Aaron Wilson.
Future chef.
and owner of his own restaurant.
Pursuing electrical engineering degree from UVM.
Ski slope bunny.
STEM enthusiast.
Anna Steele.
Fierce and persistent in learning new things.
Known as Steely Dog in English. Renowned as the backbone of staff at the Queechee Club.
She worked out all pandemic long.
Ready for field hockey at Simmons.
Caleb Hepler.
Confident team leader in track and cross country.
Always asked the best questions in physics.
Goes by Olaf on the trails.
An exquisite captain who goes the long distances.
And makes them easier for all.
Smart enough
to tag along.
Taylor Plord.
Quiet leader with a bright smile. A tremendous athlete.
and a great teammate.
Keeps his head together.
With a knit hat.
We'll play winter soccer,
In the school parking lot at 7 a.m.
4 degrees.
Shorts. Always.
Leah Sperber.
Ambitious.
Can't wait to jump into the next phase of her life.
Fearlessly leads work rallies.
To the French language feedlot. And spontaneous trips to the bog as needed.
Expert balancer of work and life.
A global leader.
Megan LaCroix.
Is joyful.
And intelligent.
Actress extraordinaire. Pulling out all the stops.
Asks for extra books in her mailbox during pandemics.
Andrew Gubbins.
Respectful.
Mature
and kind.
A great
And a
teammate.
quiet leader.
The governor.
Emily Dean.
Most likely to work in a science lab
With a project no one can pronounce.
and make a profound difference in the world.
All the while,
Writing the world's next most watched
a
screenplay.
pharmaceutical rom-com.
I remember when
My class consisted of 10.
And gnomes were our thing. Embarrassing times.
Ripped my pants wide open.
Full moon on display.
threw up on my desk.
It was an atrocious mess.
Eyes on me.
No fun.
We consciously commit ourselves
To develop and empower the mind.
Body.
And spirit.
A born artist.
Madison Diaz.
Is up for a challenge. Tells it like it is.
Isn't afraid to explore the depths.
Dig into the truth.
Will explain the plot of Ratatouille to anyone who asks.
And even to those who don't.
Rhiannon Meyer.
Sweet, pure,
Unique.
kind, talented journalist.
Knows how to connect lit to life.
Joey Randberg.
We'll figure out the meaning of life.
An incredibly talented artist.
Who likes to take his time.
And then a little more time.
Allison Bradley.
Most confident style.
Responsible volunteer.
Graceful sprite. Amazing actress.
One of the most exquisite critics and writers.
Will she ever see that herself?
Isabella Moses.
Charming.
Creative.
Driven.
Motivated.
Is the best at keeping 9th grade boys on task.
Alexander Inglis.
Curious.
Artistic.
Don't get in his way at the end of a race.
Channel the inner beast.
Spontaneous, independent thinker.
Immersion storytelling.
Watch out.
Etta Warren.
Responsible.
Loves to sing.
Always on pitch.
Joyful.
Talented actress.
Cole Daniels.
Quiet.
Dedicated to his work in industrial mechanics and welding.
Polite and responsible.
Joshua Mother.
Artsy.
Spacey.
Super sense of humor.
Artistic.
Explosions.
Has a way with lines.
Molly Maxim.
Creative.
Vampire specialist.
Can talk on any subject.
Especially science or history.
Zoe Montag.
Talented and disciplined artist.
Cherishes her friends and family.
Lover of anime.
Excels within the arts and music program.
Designer and podcaster.
Gianna Fiorino.
Is creative.
Sharp.
And witty.
Just about finessed a sophomore shadow day.
With a rock star.
Loves her game.
Competitive.
Maeve Hoff.
Wise.
Creative.
Open.
Full of potential.
Knows more about The Bachelor than anyone.
Heading to Smith.
Una Tracy.
Steady and graceful as a tree.
IHP diva.
Bound to have her own sitcom.
Or prime reality TV show.
Eats a lot of veggies.
Great laugh.
Field Willis.
Dedicated.
Athletic.
An incredible artist.
Thoughtful thinker.
Funny.
Tree climber.
Celia Burrington.
Is caring, driven, and thoughtful.
Passionate about languages.
Voracious reader.
She may have,
If not only her own language, then several other worlds going.
All at once.
On top of being on top of this one.
she can dribble more than a soccer ball.
Ed Young, science journalist for The Atlantic, says,
We long to return to normal, but normal led to this.
To avert future pandemics we know are coming.
We must grapple with all the ways normal failed us.
We have to build something better.
We consciously commit ourselves to stop.
To be in the present.
To support and engage each person's unique gifts.
Wilbur Abrams.
Electric creativity.
If Wilbur is
Be
missing,
sure to check the treetops.
Best known for hauling rusty car parts from the river.
And abandoned lawnmowers from trailblazing runs on Mount Tom.
ultimate marathon orator in AP Lit.
Wilbur knows how to bring Van Helsing
Or Polonius for that matter.
to life.
Maya Aziz.
Imaginative.
Driven, curious,
Passionate. Fighter.
thoughtful,
Harry. Adventurous.
Ella Ballou.
Sweet.
Serious acting chops.
Cares about social justice.
The best Greek course leader a Latin teacher could find.
Kicks butt with a Rubik's Cube.
Chloe Bergstrom.
So many talents.
What will she do?
movie makeup artist.
Motivational poster designer.
She has perseverance.
The ability to connect with others.
And a caring nature.
Famous on stages in faraway places.
Finn Powers.
Is a future theater director.
Dashingly handsome.
D&D dungeon master.
Avery Shoemaker.
A talented artist.
Positive energy.
Great at science.
Incredibly hardworking.
Great friend.
Sarah Sprague.
Creative.
And full of heart.
Knows how to
Sizzle.
American Lit. Victorian.
To a 21st century code.
But
When code hems her in.
she writes or draws her own.
Bandit for the bog.
Willow Carr.
Artsy.
Sweet.
Clever.
Brilliant with so much potential.
Splendid host of the Candidates Forum.
Macaroni cartoon.
Illustrator.
Eliza Dodson.
A creative problem solver.
Greatest laugh ever.
Time management expert.
The most amazing ceramic trash can of all time.
Riley Earl.
Slow and steady.
Thoughtful.
Creative.
Beautiful singing voice.
With expansive sound and beauty.
Lilia McCullough.
Ambitious.
Always cheerful.
As well as respectful.
Believes in her Tuesday, Friday cohort.
Self-taught expert in Korean cooking.
Does homework mere hours after it's posted.
Parker Kunick.
Respectful.
Mature.
And kind.
Great summer intern at the Woodstock History Center.
Hardworking and thoughtful.
A quote from Kamala Harris.
You now know that you have what it takes to get through pretty much anything.
So when you come up against an obstacle,
When you experience a setback.
And you will, we all do.
Remember the resilience that you showed this past year.
The determination.
Remember that you have the strength to get through anything.
Noah Anderson.
Environmentally engaged.
Avid hiker and reader.
Snapping up all the text on the edge of AP Lit.
Tommy Orange's There There.
Kafka's Metamorphosis.
In his spare time, he peruses T.S. Eliot.
And experiments with the beat poets.
Orion Beardsley.
Flight school in Texas.
Early college for senior year.
Gracious.
Deep, resonant voice.
Sam Blanchard.
Leader of the boot crew.
Focused on his future.
Most famous for calmly removing
A dead woodpecker.
that flew to its bitter end.
Into the school bus of squealing sophomores.
Returning from Western Theater.
Redefining Hambone's lines from
I want my ham.
To
I want my woodpecker.
Tobin Calder.
Sweet.
Diligent.
One critical prong of the quietly powerful triumvirate. This team knows how to tackle a pandemic.
Super chill.
Dylan Ball.
Horticulture enthusiast.
Devoted to family.
Friend to many.
Max Phillips.
football player.
Gentle soul.
Hopeful for the future.
Dedicated.
Haley Barrio.
Great safe school ambassador.
And mentor to younger students.
Had the computer science bug before anyone else in the school.
Beautiful, clear singing voice.
Caitlin Gomes.
Family is important to her.
Quiet and caring.
A heart of gold.
Ford enthusiast.
Snowboarder.
Sarah Hirschfield.
Laughing.
Kind.
Wise.
And giving.
Mountain Island hopper.
Ellen Smith.
Courageous. Terror.
And a good friend.
She sang rap.
In front of the whole school.
about treating people well.
Helped out with the Learn to Play Hockey program.
Even though she is a figure skater.
A great friend and support to her peers.
Lily Sorrentino
Is caring
Curious.
and has the cutest dog.
Never stops eating in math
A
class.
constant feeding frenzy.
Natasha Springer.
Kind.
Lost but found.
Loves fashion and sports.
Always friendly.
Cassandra Summersell.
Good work ethic.
Determined to accomplish her goals.
Reliable.
Thorough.
Chloe McKay.
Friendly and open.
Ready to make the world a better place.
Worthy of understanding the underworld at Worthy. Wants to
Blow up
the system.
Infectious energy.
Ronaldo McDonald.
First and only year with us.
A one and done guy.
Too bad. He is kind, hardworking, caring,
An independent person. Helping family.
environmentalist.
Danced his way through trigonometry.
I remember when
We were kids and worry-free.
No care in the world.
I remember when.
We were new.
Now we're leaving.
the end of an era slowly drawing near.
Filled with conflicting emotions.
The sweet embrace of summer.
With flowers blooming.
And birds chirping.
This summer will be
Electrifying.
Unmasked.
A
unpaved.
social summer.
Isabel Hiller.
Driven.
Kind and caring.
Future CIA agent.
Figured out how to tour the West Coast.
During the pandemic.
Chase Christensen.
Early college at VTC.
Conscientious.
And a broad thinker.
Hockey player.
Riley China.
Funny.
True theater king.
A master behind the deli counter.
And quite good at tucking things in track and field.
Wesley Cloutier.
Gentle giant.
The sheep still stands in Latin class.
Big facts.
Straightforward.
No BS of any kind.
Sticks to his gun.
An arborist.
Outdoorsman.
The best friend anyone could ask for.
Taylor Crompton.
Is hilarious.
Curious.
Motivated.
And giving.
With a contagious laugh.
Tay Crumps. Ava Dodson.
Sense of humor.
Helpful to others.
Very put together.
Hockey goalie.
Great style.
Daniel Drebber.
Focused.
Intelligent.
One who will reach his dreams.
Broke the most pencils.
Effective animal mating calls.
Infectious laugh.
Molly Shearer.
Always has a can-do attitude.
Thoughtful and reflective.
Loves thunderstorms.
Knows how to make a granny ride appear fast and fleet.
Paige Sorrell.
Hard worker. Graceful horsewomanship. Plants seeds every year in the greenhouse. And has the best garden.
Madeline Trimpe.
If Mother Earth had a sister.
It would be Maddie.
Agreed.
Climate change activist.
Beautiful artist.
Always gives 100%.
Ben Worth.
Masterline chef at Prince and the Pauper.
Knows the ropes from dishwasher on up.
Enjoys working way ahead on assignments.
Clearing his runway for life.
Carrie Young.
Opinionated.
We'll let you know where she stands.
Passionate about animals.
Beautiful singing voice.
Actress.
A great photographer.
Caleb Palazzo.
Always kind and caring.
Deeply insightful.
Summer.
And driven.
Brooke Rebido.
Transferred as a senior.
And worked fully remote.
Always pleasant.
And easy to work with.
Maura Shans.
Smiley.
Dedicated.
Determined.
Strong.
Hard worker.
And stands up for others.
Ethan Mello.
Focused.
Intelligent.
Thoughtful.
Asks great questions.
Beware.
Will read ahead and send out spoilers.
Knows all about Roman history.
And their military.
A born teacher.
Emily Keating.
Is lovely.
Kind.
Pure.
And humble.
Always positive.
And a joy to be greeted by in the hall.
Allison Van Alstyne.
Eager to move on with life.
Tackled remote learning in force.
Super sweet.
And genuine.
Here we are.
In this present moment.
As we move on,
Be who you are.
Learn from your mistakes.
Take your time.
Fall down.
Get up.
Remember that
Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality.
Tied in a single garment of destiny.
Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly.
So be alive to one another's struggles.
Stand up.
To one another's rights.
Leave behind all the old ways of thinking that divide us.
Sexism.
Racial prejudice.
Status. Greed.
And set the world on a different path.
By the ones who circle around to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now. And what a time to be alive in this great turning. We shall learn to lead in love. In this great company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these spires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
Next, please welcome co-valedictorian Noah Anderson.
Good evening, afternoon, I'm not too sure what it is really anymore. Anyway, when I first began writing this speech, I didn't know what to say. I wrote down potential ideas, gathered quotes from books in my room in search of inspiration, and thought back on other speeches I've heard. But nothing really worked, so I wrote down a list of impossible goals instead. I wanted to avoid cliché, be memorable, not be too serious, all while saying something important. Child's play, really. In Atlas Shrugged, Ayn Rand tells us that man is, quote, just a collection of chemicals with delusions of grandeur. I'm not really an Ayn Rand fan, but here I think she gets something right. Look no further than me, getting up in front of you of hopes of being remembered for saying something profound, when in reality all I've done so far is ramble. Because really, we don't want to be forgotten. We want to be commended on our successes, have the spotlight shone on us in some way. But spotlights dim, our triumphs fade over time. History marches relentlessly, and we all spend our lives fighting against it, doing what we can to avoid being lost in its annals, relegated to names on our great-great-grandchildren's family tree project. More often than not, we're too caught up in daily life to see the occasions that will one day be taught in classroom to glassy-eyed students, hidden in textbook chapters never read. That's okay. We don't have to appreciate every passing second or constantly give thanks to a higher power for the niceties of modern life. Obviously, the past year will be talked about for generations, and we confront the way the pandemic upended our lives on a daily basis. But I don't wake up in the morning and marvel about the technological advancements that made it possible for a vaccine to be available this quickly. Honestly, how many of you do? I'm not trying to make you feel bad, I promise. I'm trying to illustrate a larger point. That 50 years from now, when kids read about the lockdowns and the surges and the vaccines and everything else from the past year, they'll see it as linear, the events fitting neatly one after another on a timeline. Because they're looking back, they'll be able to see the larger historical context, and their takeaways won't be muddied by personal experiences. And when complex historical events get boiled down to fit neatly on a page, they can seem absolute. Sometimes they are. Wars have starts and ends. Inventions, too, happened at specific times. Issues arise, however, when we begin to view everything through that absolutist lens. Because our understanding of history isn't complete, we shouldn't absent-mindedly accept what we're taught as unconditional fact. So many so-called hot-button issues are controversial today as a direct result of differing understandings of the past. Over this last year, we've seen police brutality disproportionately perpetuated against people of color and have begun to reevaluate our relationship with race throughout history. We've asked hard questions. We've asked how centuries of slavery are still manifesting today. We've begun to question larger systems like policing, education, voting even, and if their structures continue to be relevant. And some of us have wrestled with these uncomfortable truths and come to understand that we need change. That just because we learned that slavery was abolished and we passed the Civil Rights Act, that we still have issues and we still have work to do. And this wrestling with history goes beyond the systems I just mentioned. There's so much we've learned that we accept as fact. We study the Constitution and the founding of our country as a foregone conclusion, and the ideas that Washington and Hamilton and Madison and Jefferson had are near sacrosanct. We see our government and are upset by its inaction, but are seldom upset by the root of that inaction. Everything from how we vote to the three branches of government to such obscure topics as the filibuster have existed for so long that they are taken for granted. And as I said before, this questioning isn't supposed to be easy. It's hard to take something you know and love and have it turned upside down, thrown out, and decried. Hearing how the police are racist and how America has failed time and again to live up to its promise of all men created equal, or how the government we've had for over 200 years now is outdated and inefficient, are really, really hard. We don't want that to be true because it would be admitting that we're wrong, that something is fundamentally wrong and has been for a very long time. But we're going to be wrong. We're going to be wrong and wrong again. We're going to try to make changes and fail at those too, but the point is we're trying. Coming to the end of the speech, I'm sad. I'm sad for all the normal reasons. I'm sad because soon I'll be leaving, because I'm leaving behind too many regrets. I'm sad because for too many of you, this will be the last real interaction we'll have. But I'm also sad that this is the speech I gave, that I couldn't get up here and talk about all the hardships we endured and how we're coming out of this stronger. I'm sad because I couldn't bring myself to write that speech. Because for all the silver linings we can find in the past year, we are lucky to be here together and too many aren't. I'm sad because the speeches we so desperately need, the ones I mentioned and all the ones I didn't, will be made too late or not at all. And I'm sad because the speech changes nothing. All it is self-serving, designed to make me feel good and lecture you on things you already know or have no interest in hearing. T.S. Eliot tells us that the world will end not with a bang, but a whimper. We're whimpering right now, but unlike a bang, a whimper isn't sudden. We have time to see what's wrong and change it. Let's make that change. Let's stop whimpering. Thank you.
Next, please welcome senior members of our symphonic band.
Oops.
Next, please welcome co-valedictorian and president of the class of 2021, Isabel Hiller.
As Leah and Noah said, they avoided the cliche, and as you could ask any one of my classmates, I would be the one to cover it. So, buckle up. We are living through a time in history that we did not ask to be a part of. Some of us lost junior and senior sports seasons, our chances to become captains and team leaders. Some of us lost our final chances to compete for roles in clubs we put our all into in prior years. Some of us lost our final opportunities to perform or display art. However, although losing time in these past couple years to a virus was certainly not what we planned, we have the choice of seeing the cup as half full or half empty, as cheesy as that is. We may not have been able to see each other in the classroom and through the halls for a good 4 months, but from another view, we had a 4-month staycation in which our grades could only get better. Although we didn't have as many senior privileges as previous classes for a good portion of the year, we did have what one could call pandemic privileges. It's hard to complain about going to school 2 days a week, maybe 3 if you count PJ Day. I mean Wednesday Zooms. The SAT wasn't even required on college applications. That's an undeniable win. More importantly, aside from the lessons we've learned throughout the pandemic, we have to recognize how far we've come, and we must remember the little things. Remember so long ago when we toured the middle school, guided by the towering and intimidatingly cooler 7th and 8th graders, terrified and confused by the intricate labyrinth? Now we look at the 7th graders and wonder, was I really that short? And yes, a lot of us were. However, we've all grown, some physically, some not so much, but all of us in wisdom and maturity in one sense or another. Phrases and advice from teachers had very different meanings 4 years ago versus now. Challenge yourself was interpreted for us to strive for academic excellence and go above and beyond, whether we did so or not. Now we're older, wiser, and more savvy. We challenge ourselves to the pressure of time, testing how much information our brains can review and retain in a 5-minute study session before the exam. The infamous Poublon quote, "This is trash," used to just be a funny remark. But now we really understand its succinct yet unabridged meaning. A 66.7 in Bremel's geometry class was the equivalent feeling of having no other choice than the last caprese wrap. Whereas in AP Calculus, that same 66.7 feels like the first bite into a fresh farmer's sandwich. We surely are no longer fellows as grasshoppers, and even more bittersweetly no longer Perks bears. Likewise, anyone and everyone will miss Piccoli's kindness and her shushwand, Mr. Brennan's selflessness as a universal tutor, no matter the subject or the time, whether he has a class or not, our loving class parents, Mr. and Mrs. Henderson, and surely the unmatchable energy of the language department. Extrañaré especialmente la tutoría y la locura de Betsy y Miss O'Connell. Here we've made unforgettable memories and built relationships with peers, friends, teachers, and staff that will be a part of us for the rest of our lives. All the experiences, good and not so great, that we have gone through up to this point make us who we are. And the best part is, we're not done yet. So lastly, I'll leave you with a poem and some final remarks. Sometimes we wish our dreams were too outlandish for us to think that they could possibly be reached, because then maybe our hopes would cease to soar up in the clouds like a bird we can't keep down, that maybe could fly forever free or else be shot to the ground. Sometimes it just seems safer to keep those hopes and dreams locked up in a cage where they will never face rejection because they'll never see the light of day. We can be so afraid of failure, rather just not try at all, and regardless of whether we do or don't, we feel so overwrought because we don't want to lie about what our hearts want and what we believe we're capable of. Then pray that we don't feel the loss. But we also feel scared to be honest about it because what about the people who clearly doubt it? What if I start on track and end up lost? Still, I know in my soul, wings aren't meant to be clipped, and this bird wants my faith before anyone else's. I could get the green light 1 billion times, and it would all be worthless if I can't trust myself with the dreams that are written on my very bones. The dreams I'm relieved are too stubborn to ever leave me alone. I hope today you remember that the sky is not humiliated by its vastness, and the mountains remain unashamed of their height. Mother Earth and her oceans are not afraid of their size, and the sun is not concerned if someone has to squint their eyes. It will shine, and it will not apologize for its light. And like the trees teach us, it's okay to lose our leaves as seasons change, and then come back to life. And if I can love the stars and how they're scattered throughout space, then can't I love the acne scars making constellations on my face? If I can love the crater moon that hangs there in the sky, then can't I love the texture on the bottom of my thighs? If I can love every waterfall and stand in awe of their might, then can't I love the curious ambition that flows through my own 2 eyes? If you have to pick yourself apart, if you find you really can't quit, then might it be better to look in your mirror for pieces of the universe in your skin? For a moment, can we change the rules we use to judge whether or not we're beautiful? Whenever I speak to the sunrise or sunset, I don't insist they shrink or be tame, and maybe with practice and a little more noticing, we can speak to ourselves the same. I hope that nature teaches us to look at ourselves and be kind. I hope that we don't dim, shrink, or fold into places far too tight. Yes, today, tomorrow, and the next, I hope you look at yourself and you are kind. Wow, we're graduating. Obviously, I know what that means. People have been throwing the word around like it means nothing, but our lives are moving forward for better or worse. Last time I checked, we were still juniors, excited because we were getting an extended break. I didn't realize that the last day I would step into all my classes would be so soon. I don't think we were prepared for that. But now it's our time. Now we're leaving our home, our friends, some of them anyways. We'll meet new ones along the way. It's all part of the journey.
We knew this day would come, we just didn't realize it would be so soon. Some of us procrastinated buying a cap and gown because we did not want it to end. We don't want this chapter of not having to figure out taxes to end, but it needs to. We'll continue to experience and make memories that mold us into who we are meant to become, and Woodstock Union High School will always be shared in our memories and in our hearts. Thank you.
Thank you, Izzy. You beautifully captured the moment of tonight. Thank you, thank you, Leah, for encouraging us to cultivate faith, and thank you, Noah, for challenging us to take action. I also want to thank the Speak Chorus for giving us that great journey through the high school. Thank you to the senior band for a rocking rendition of Carry On Wayward Shoulders with bands and horns. And thank you, Wilbur. That was totally unexpected, but we loved it. That was great. And thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Henderson, for leading this class so well. Guests, families, faculty and staff, graduates, it's so good to be here with you tonight. It's been a long year. Celebrating this great class of 2021 is a fantastic thing to share with you tonight. Graduation is a significant milestone that caps years of hard work and marks a transition to a next phase. It truly takes a village. Thank you for being that village. While we savor our time together, let's also remember those who cannot be with us today with a brief moment of silence. Thank you. Class of 2021, we would like to have some more time with you. We feel shorted by this pandemic. We missed out. We want more of your leadership, your intellect, and laughter. But at the same time, I know that you feel ready, and I am confident that you are ready to become alumni. So join me in welcoming Superintendent Sherry Sousa and WCSU Board Chair Bryce Samuel to the stage. Ms. Sousa and Mr. Samuel, it is my pleasure to present to you the Woodstock class of 2021. I certify that these students have met all academic requirements established by the Windsor Central School Board and are entitled to receive their diplomas. Mr. and Mrs. Henderson. And now it is my honor to welcome the class president back to the stage to receive her diploma and to read the names of her fellow graduates. Wait right there, Izzy. There we go. Isabel Rose Hiller.
Had to chug some water before this one. Okay. Madeline, oh, sorry. I'm so nervous. Madeline Jane Trimpe. Liliana Josephine Sorrentino. Allison Talbert Bradley. Noah Levon Anderson. Leah Asman Sperber. Thomas Michael Bazalian. Celia Suzanne Barrington. Nova Christina Conway. Emily Ann Dean. Andrew Brian Gubbins. Maeve Keenan Half. Sarah Noelle Hirschbiel. Parker Michael Cooner. Megan Laura LaCroix. Lilia Paige McCullough. Ethan Lewis Luke Mello. Louis Edward Mills. Isabella Moses. Savannah Rose Sheehan. Riley Alsgaard Shepherd. Avery Jane Shoemaker. Sarah Christine Sprague. Lily Tuckerman. David Field Willis III. Wilbur Bancroft Abrams III. Maya Joy Aziz. Dylan William Ball. Elizabeth Ivy Ballou. Tyler Michael Bean. Orion Michael Thomas Beardsley. Chloe Bergstrom. Haley Mary Barrio. Samuel Ano Blanchard. Tobin Louise Calder. Natalie Willow Carr. Haley Cheryl Chase. Chase Miles Christensen. Riley Quinn Chinoweth. Wesley Sky Cloutier. Taylor Marie Crompton. Riley Frances Marie Cross. Cole Allen Daniels. Ava Marilyn Dodson. Eliza Beatrice Dodson. Daniel Albert Dreber. Riley Elizabeth Earl. Gianna Bell Fiorino. Kaylin Ann Gomes. Sadie Morgan Gravel. Charles Edward Wynn Green. Giles Benedict Hamlin III. Mason Cedar Harkins. Caliph Eli Hepler.
I got him next.
Gavin Craig Huppy. Alexander Cyril Inglis. Emily Mason Keating. Joshua James Mather, Jr. Molly Eva Maxim. Aiden Henry McDermott. Ronaldo Raymond McDonald. Chloe Evelyn McCabe. Rhiannon Shalom Meyer. Zoe Elizabeth Montag. Madison Lucy Niez. Manuel Rodriguez Pacheco. Caleb Antonio Palazzo. Max Kingsley Phillips. Taylor James Flord. Finn Michael Powers. Joseph Paul Ranberg. Brooke Adrian Rebedu. Laura Elizabeth Shands. Molly Ray Shearer. Angel Shannon Ellen Smith. Natasha Ann Springer. Anna Kelly Steele. Cassandra Elizabeth Somersell. Paige Lillian Sorrell. Una Celeste Tracy. Allison Marie Van Alstyne. Edelyn Isabella Warren. Aaron Christopher Wilson. Amber Rose Wood. Benjamin Delaney Worth.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Caradwin Elizabeth Young. Colby Richard Warren.
So finally, the last speaker, and we are going to make it. So this is because of this amazing class. I just want to quickly say, graduates, you've heard reflections on your shared experiences, words of wisdom to consider as you leave this campus, and charges for your future. I wish to thank you for your kindness, compassion, energy, and curiosity. For parents, I appreciate the unquestioning support you have offered your children, whether getting that poster board for the project due tomorrow, buying the snack needed for class, or helping with the final edit of a paper. You have been their strongest advocate and at times their most honest critic. And to the faculty, staff, and administration, I value your unquestionable dedication to the craft of teaching and your recognition of the dignity of every child in your class. One last lesson, graduates. Why do we turn the tassels? The tassel before graduation symbolizes your time as a student. When you move it to the other side, you are confirming your newfound graduate status. For high school students, the tassel starts on the right side. The tassel then moves to the left at the end of the ceremony. We're almost there. With the authority vested in me in the Windsor Central Supervisory Union in the state of Vermont, I hereby certify that these students have met the requirements to earn a Woodstock Union High School diploma. Congratulations, graduate. Thank you. Ready? So, move them over. You're done.
What you really want to do is stand up and throw those hats. Come on, go up. There you go. So we ask that you stay in your seats until the recessional and then meet your graduates outside of the foyer. Faculty and staff, please start the recessional.
Since I was young, it took all of me, nothing